Hello there. Today I would like to say a few words about a very important topic and very important method of study chess, training chess, and improving your chess. And this is going through master games. I have talked about this topic several times, and I really think that going through the games regularly will give you plenty of resources, plenty of new ideas, plenty of chances to learn new stuff and just to learn from the masters, from the people who mastered the game of chess. And well, of course, you should do other things as well, especially tactics or maybe end game studies or some kind of opening studies, structure studies, and so on. But once you go through the whole game, then you see how all these elements fit together and how masters connect all these elements into one unique and whole game. So there are several methods. If you Google it, if you ask people on the forums or read in various books, there are several methods how to actually study classics or any master games. So how to study, how to learn from masters, and this is the method I came up by myself. So it's just from my own experience, and it works for me. And I hope that it also might work for someone else as well. So this is how I do it, and this is how I found that I get the most results and the most efficient way to study master. This comes in 7 steps, so let's go through it. Step number one is get a physical board, and by physical board I mean real board with real pieces. And well, it's I think for me it's very useful device and in replaceable thing to study chess. So I like for aesthetic reasons and philosophical reasons. If you want, I like these small wooden pieces. It gives the aesthetical dimension to chess. I strongly believe that chess is not a video game. Chess is a beautiful ancient board game and should be played on the board and studied on the board. So this is, let's say, aesthetic and philosophical reasons. But other than that, also you get much less distracted and much more focused on chess if you do chess the old-fashioned way. If you just uh, take a corner, sit on the desk, put out your chess set, and then do chess. Because if you're doing when you are doing chess on the computer screen, you tend to be very hasty. You tend to just quickly click through the game, quickly go through the game, go up, go forward, go backward, and so on. And it doesn't cultivate this ability of deep thinking, of deep concentration, of really putting your whole focus on the game and the board. And this is what you can achieve with a real physical board, in my experience. What kind of board? Well, ideally it would be a tournament size board, so 50 by 50 centimeters, because hopefully you want to play over the board tournament from time to time, and then you get used to think, calculate, and look at the real tournament board. There can be logistical problems with a tournament board because it's rather big, so you need to have a big desk. Maybe you don't have a big desk in your apartment, so you have to settle with a smaller board. It's okay, but just don't take the board too small. So maybe 30 centimeters should be some kind of minimum, 30 by 30. And well, it helps if the board is nice, because then you have this cozy feeling. You have this aesthetic experience as well. Personally, I use a wooden chess set, which I have purchased after maybe 2 years of doing chess, and it gives me great pleasure to sit over this and just move these pieces and study chess in this manner. But it can also be any tournament chess set, so you can get up to $20. You can get a roll-on board, roll-up board, and the plastical pieces, and it's perfectly fine because the pieces are big, the board is big, and then you can enjoy your chess. Okay, let's go to step number two. Get the book, and by book I mean physical paper book. offline device if you want. So again, like I said, if you are doing chess on the computer, well, first of all, you are not making a habit of looking at 3D board chess, and you can have some maybe problems if you come to over the board tournament. But also, the computer is or smartphone or tablet. They are online devices. That means that you are always connected to the internet. You can always get an email. You can get instant message. You can get curious. You might want to check out your Twitter, your Facebook, or whatever you use. So it doesn't contribute to you being concentrated and focused. And on the other hand, if you look, if you take a physical book, for example, this nice game collections, very famous book, Zurich International Chess Tournament 1953 by David Bernstein. Well, you just don't get so distracted. You open the book and you read the book, and this is it. You cannot get an instant message on the book or anything else. So this gives you concentration and focus, and also the aesthetical experience, because when you have a board, you have a book, it's different than when you just sit over your PC, and you can do a thousand things on PC, but when you set up the board and the book, there is only one thing you can do with the board and the book, and this is study chess. So this is the reason. If you really have to, you can use maybe offline Kindle device, so if you want to read Kindle book, but again, it should be offline device. This is my recommendation and my experience. Step number 3 is choose the side. So you take a game. You can take, for example, any book of collections of master games. You can see here, this is Bobby Fischer's famous book. He has his 60 most famous games, or you can take the collection like this from the tournament, or you can take by some other famous author like Richard Reti, Master of the Chessboard book, also collection of games of old masters. So you pick up the book, and then you pick up the game, and you choose the side. So how to choose the side? Usually you want to play, for example, you take the game, and this is Averbach Sabo, and then I will look at the end of the game who won the game. Okay, this particular was a draw. If it's a draw, then it doesn't matter, but usually you want to play the winning side. So you can look which side won, and then you can choose to play as a winner. So for example, this game number 69 is Petrosyan Juve, and Petrosyan won, so you want to play as black. Exceptionally, if you have a book like this, when Bobby Fischer annotates his own games, then maybe you always want to play as Fischer, because he's the annotator, and he's a famous annotator, of course. So even if he lost the game, and there are, I think, 6 games in this book which Fischer lost and annotated, so you can play as Fischer. So once you choose the side, you set up the pieces, and if you choose black side, then the black pieces are on your side, and white it's the other way around. Step number 4 is guess the move. So once you are ready to go, this is the way how you should go through the game the first time. So play, of course you play, okay, first move from text, then you play the opponent's move. Then you try to guess what would you play if you were the player on that side of the board. Maybe in the opening, maybe first 5 to 10 moves, it doesn't make much sense to guess, because if there are no forcing lines, then the player can choose whichever openings he likes, and it's hard to guess. So maybe first few moves you can play from the book. But then at one point you need to really get involved in the game, and this means that you should think for your own before you look the move which the player played. So you play your opponent's move, and then you don't look at the text move, but you think, and you have to take at least 1 minute to analyze the position and to come up with 1, 2, or 3 candidate moves. What would you play if you were the player? You may ask how you may prevent yourself from looking at the next move. Well, you can just train your eye not to look at the next move, or you can just use a little piece of sticker and just stick over the move after move, so you don't look at the move. So you think about the position, and you come up with 1 to 3 candidate moves what would you play. You take about 1 minute. If you need more time, you can take more time. It's not a problem to take more time, but the problem is if you take less time, if you are in this hasty mode. So the whole idea of deep thinking is that you shouldn't rush things. You shouldn't be in the hurry. You should just be focused and be concentrated and give yourself time to think about the position. So of course, if it is a forcing move, it's just simply capture. Then you don't have to waste 1 minute. But usually 1 minute is optimal time for just getting hold of the position, just to see what's going on in the position. And this brings us to step number 5, play the text move. So once you got your candidate moves, you don't move the pieces, but you just look at the text move and you play the text move on the board. And then you will see if this text move is the move which you saw also or not. And then you can, after you play the move, you can read the annotations. So if there are any, you can read what did annotator say about this move, why this move is good, or why it's maybe not good, or what is the plan behind this move, and why this move and not some other, and so on. So you should read the annotations, and usually some annotations contain some variations and combinations, and it's very important not to move your pieces. So if you read the comments, the variations, try to visualize them on the board. If the variation is too long and you cannot visualize it, that means, in my humble opinion, it means that this variation is over your level and you should not even try to understand it. So this is one criteria, because the books are annotated books are written for wide chess audience. So you can read, for example, this Zurich book if you are a grandmaster, or if you are a 1200 ill-rated club player, but not so everybody can learn from masters and read master games, but not everybody can understand the deepness of the variations and the comments in the annotations. So my criterion is, as far as you can follow the variation without moving the pieces on the board, this is okay for you. Once the variation gets so complicated that you cannot follow it without moving any pieces, then this variation is not for your level, and maybe when you grow stronger, you will be able to read these annotations again. So anyway, my advice and my recipe is don't move the pieces. So only play the text move on the board and nothing else. All other analysis you have to do in your head. And this is also how you practice visualization. And this kind of simulates the real tournament conditions, because of the tournament you are not allowed to move the pieces except the move you want to play and you want to write down on your score sheet. Step number 6 is just repeat steps number 4 and 5 until you get to the end of the game. So you play your opponent's move, you stop for 1 minute, you think, you come up with candidate moves, then you look at the book, you play the text move, you read the annotations to try to understand the text move, then again you play with your opponent's move, stop, think, and so on until you get the end of the game. And finally, step 7 is do it all over again, once more, but this time quicker. You don't have to spend 1 minute when you are reviewing the game, because you will already know the game and you will know the moves. Because if you were really involved in the game, if you were thinking about each move and spend 1 minute per each move, then you will see that you will know the game by heart. At least your side. Maybe you will not know your opponent's side, but your side you will know by heart. And when you do the review, it's very important that you hide your moves. So you play your opponent's move and then you think, what should I play here? And then you will already know the answer, because you just went through the game. But it's very important not just to play what you know from your memory, but also to just briefly explain to yourself why did you play this move. So for example, it's your move, you say, okay, he played the bishop g5 here because he wanted to add additional pressure to the e7 square. And this is it. And then you can go to the next move. So you need to know why every move was made. So I don't think about well, the deep variations, 10 moves deep or so or something, but you need to know the reason, the logic, the plan, why every move is played. And then you go through through the game again. You play every move, and you just repeat to yourself why every move is played, and you will know this because you have just read the annotations. And then after doing this for second time, and it takes only maybe 5 minutes top, you will for sure take at least one idea from the game you studied. And this is the whole point. So if you can take just one idea from one original new idea from the game you studied, it's a great success because you can study many games. I have a habit to go through at least one game a day in this manner, sometimes more, sometimes less. But if you go only through, let's say one game a day, that means that in the course of I don't know 2 or 3 years you'll do thousands of games. So in 3 years you will do 1,000 games. 1,000 games is 1,000 ideas which you can learn, and then you can start implementing some of these ideas in your own games. Okay, this is it for this video. I think I have explained how I go through master games in 7 steps. I strongly advise you to try the method. Maybe it will work for you. Maybe you have some other way which suits you better. But okay, give it a try and tell me what you think. Leave the comment below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, share the video, and I'll see you very soon for chess. Cheers.